that would be Rajasic.
Did they by accident leave it out of the Hatha Pradipika? Did he by accident leave out too sweet?
Then be ready.
Well, nowadays
Exceptions are there. Remember one thing. When he is talking continuous, means you use a thing, shower every day, then naturally the hyperacidity will increase. From that point of view, exceptions always are there.
he was right before high fructose corn syrup.
Probably didn't think that was an issue back then, yeah.
Well, sweet was a bonus in earlier generation. Right? Now it's all over us.
But it has the same effect with, hyperactivity, so that would be in the same category for our modern lifestyle.
Absolutely. Only one Red Bull per day. God.
Within the process of pratyahara, is the mind considered as one of the senses in terms of a sixth sense, or does Patanjali's system still treat the mind as something above the senses?
You should understand concept of pratyahara very clearly. See, pratyahara means generally we are taken by the taste, by the touch, by the form, by the smell. We become used to follow that. He says you should be able to withdraw whenever it is not required to follow it. It is your capacity. He doesn't prohibit to eat something, but he prohibits that you are busy in some work. That should not become an obstacle that your mind has gone if you are listening some beautiful song. You are attending a lecture and you are psychologically there. That should not happen. You should be the master of your senses.
Within that list of things that we must withdraw from, could thought or thoughts be seen as another one of those things that we must withdraw from? And in that way, the mind is a sixth sense that again is being withdrawn from.
I can understand.
Just like one might withdraw from a sensory temptation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The content of thought, be it random thought, etc., would that be considered a sixth sense in a sense to withdraw from within pratyahara?
No, you should understand the mind is a sixth sense. In Gita, the Krishna says, Manashatthani indriyani. Mind is the sixth sense. So, as regard the pratyahara is concerned, as I told you, that it is a not forced withdrawal. Force is not a part of you. But you should develop that discipline that whenever it is not needed, you are away. It should become your nature. See, if you just think peacefully, all the yogas, all the system of philosophy takes you to the final condition of mind where no thought exists. This is the goal. Now, how to do it, how to achieve that, different philosophies have described different ways. But final goal is you should achieve a thoughtless condition. And that gives you some inner strength. That opens the door for the further. Let it be anything. Let it be Tantra, Hatha Yoga, Raj Yoga, Laya Yoga, Mantra Yoga. Everyone goes to that situation. That try to develop, try to withdraw yourself from the crowd of thoughts. Therefore, if you read Patanjali, the first samadhi which comes, only selected thought remains. Then go on reducing, not the crowd of. And it is all philosophies of India will insist upon this.
What would selected thought contain?
So selected means, suppose you have a same thing you can say in many words, but Patanjali would say in only one small line. A crystallized thoughts, they say. Whatever necessary, but they convey the complete meaning. And then slowly that also drops. You know, vitarka vicharananda smitanasama sampradhyata. What happens is, you become the person of vitarka. Tark means the simple logic. To pass the time. We are discussing something, international problem, house problem. That is a simple logic. And with this kutarka means you are illogically logical. That is kutarka. And vitarka means you are pure logic. You say something, you are right, other person accepts it. That is called vitarka. So Patanjali says the first development of practices is you develop vitarka in you, vichar, crystallized thought only comes. Now there are no crowd of thoughts. Anand, and somewhere the touch of ecstasy is there. Now ahankar has gone, asmita still is there little, ego. That happens in the first stage of evolution for samadhi.
Within the Hatha tradition, do they view mind and that relationship between mind and senses in the same way as Patanjali's system?
Of course, everywhere. The mind, now look for Gita. He says, Chanchalam hi manah Krishna. Mana means mind. Mind is very, very unsteady. Same Hatha Pradipika says, same Patanjali says. Problem has to be one. If it is a problem, it will be the same for everyone. That is, as I repeat again and again, see, for Indian philosophy, there is no problem in the mind. Mind is a problem. You have to learn how to go beyond the mind. You have to go to the field of intellect.
Danny, you have a question?
I have a question about
Yeah.
practicing with awareness. You know, we all are supposed to be doing that. But there's a moment where I feel like I have to have faith in my teachers, that they're guiding me in the correct way, because there's some things that I just don't understand. And a lot of the times when people ask me the question, why do I do something, the answer is, I don't know. You know, and so what I understand though is you just continue to practice, and some of these questions that I don't understand will come the more I practice. But I'm just juggling the faith versus awareness and how to join those two.
Okay.
He's just saying that he understands the correct approach to practice being practice and have awareness, develop understanding, right? But at the same time, while practicing, there are just things that you don't understand or haven't fully experienced yet, and there's a element of, he said faith, but perhaps really trust in the teacher and in the process. So what would be your comment on that? And is it just a continuing of practice till the understanding further arises, or how important is that trust, faith, etc.?
See, I have never said that follow your teacher. Before that I said, read the text, understand what they say about the practice. Once you understand, you develop the trust. Don't develop the faith. Because in trust there is a possibility of leaving. In faith, there is no possibility of leaving. If you find something is not suiting you, you can leave it. But faith compels you not to leave. So now, as regards the other aspect of concern is, it is the only practice through which you can come to feel what is said. They say, very nice saying in Sanskrit is there, abhyas sarani vidya. The knowledge depends on the practice. So, but also, that is why they repeat, again and again they repeat, study what you are practicing. And if you get convinced, practice. Otherwise, throw it away.
Yes, Steve.
Is this trust we're constantly seeking to develop more same as Shraddha, or different?
Shraddha.
Yeah.
Yes.
Same.
Same. Trust. There is no word for Shraddha in English. The closest word is trust. Shraddha mulo hi yoga. Shraddha is the root for yoga. But Shraddha has to be developed. Faith has not to be developed. Whatever you are told, you start believing. Trust, you read, you discuss, then you develop.
Yes, Nadia.
So we can say that the trust develops over time with the experience of pranayama, for example. Because for pranayama, you can only read, I mean, as far as I know, you can only read how to do the pranayama and what would be the effects. But the experience of doing pranayama again and again, the practice itself, if it's serving you well, it will naturally create trust?
No, not by doing. First read what is this pranayam, what result it's going to give. If you think, suppose I am having asthma, for example, and it says that if you do the Vasudhavati, it will be cured. Now naturally the urge comes and somebody comes, yes, I got benefit. Then this is a trust. Then you yourself experience. And if it happens, then it is purely a trust.
But Devaji, till you experience it, even if it's written on text, that this is what it's good for, till you experience and can gain the knowledge from your own experience, the trust couldn't come, right?
It depends upon the strength, intensity of the knowledge. Not necessarily you will believe. But if you can believe, it is, yoga never says that blindly do something.
Yes, Sanskriti.
After I practice pranayama, I sometimes feel that maybe today I want to know the knowledge about something, and someday I don't want to eat meat. I don't know. That is the pranayama told me just that mind is think about it.
Yeah.
You're saying from your pranayama practice, you felt an urge not to eat meat. Yes? Did that develop from practice? Is that your question?
It happens.
It can happen.
It happens. Many times it happens. I give you two cases, one from Spain and another from France. One of my students was under influence every day. She cannot live without drinking. And I simply gave him some kriyas. And next time when I visited, she said, now there is no urge. I don't touch the bottle. It happens because blood chemistry changes. The thing which compels you to go again and again towards one particular thing, if it automatically withdraw, then you don't feel the urge.
Kitty,
Can pranayama alone do that, or is it a combination of kriyas, pranayam, and asana?
No.
Pranayam on its own can
No,
make you...
no. One thing psychologically very important, that you should have will to do it. Then pranayam has effect. Things are becoming serious.
They're reflecting on the not eating meat. Yes, Guy.
I'm still kind of going on the same line before. So with the mind being a sixth sense, and so within the process of pratyahara, sense withdrawal, what happens to the three different components of the mind? Like, it would make sense to me that manas and ahankara would be something that you'd want to withdraw from. But what would happen to buddhi within that process?
No, these three compartments do not belong to mind. Mind itself is alone. Chitta.
I thought chitta was the umbrella term of those three.
Chitta has these three compartments. Mind, intellect, and ego.
Here, mind is manas. So, because mind is so loose, we often confuse it with chitta, like you're saying, but in his specific description, it's, what he was talking about earlier is mind as manas,
Okay.
within. So it kind of answers your question,
Okay.
within. Because you move to chit to buddhi, of course. So the sixth sense is manas, as opposed to, as
And
opposed
that's
to,
ahankara, buddhi are seen as separate from the senses?
ahankara and buddhi are seen as separate from the senses.
Ahankara uses the senses. Senses are the vehicle to take you out. To take you to outer space. They have no capacity to take you inside.
Motoko.
Yes. I'm wondering about asmita. Asmita is a right sense of I. It's a kind of ego. But in the chitta, only manas, ahankara, buddhi. So where is asmita?
No, asmita is a shadow of ahankara. Not as powerful as ahankara. Asmita has a possibility of sharing. Ahankara does not have any possibility of sharing. It wants everything for oneself. Asmita has a frequency of understanding. Ahankara no.
So in the concept of chitta, is there asmita as well? Or
Of course, that is what I quoted, na? When sampradnya, vitarka vicharananda, asmitananda.
Sarah.
How do we know when it's mind or intellect? How do we start to distinguish intellect? How does it speak to us?
See, they have said, they have defined mind and intellect and ego. They say, sankalpa vikalpo hi mana. You decide something and immediately you decide another opposite. Again you decide something. Again you, it means fickleness of thought belongs to mind. Negative thought belongs to mind. Desires belongs to mind. Need belongs to intellect. So this, it keeps you unsteady. That is the nature of mind. And intellect is nishchayatmika buddhi. The determination comes from the buddhi. Then you don't change. But fickleness is always belong to mind. Uncertainty. Whether I should do this or not do, I should do this or not do. It's like 5 minutes in chant.
Yeah, so we'll take a little couple of minutes and get into the chanting. Thank you. Any more questions come up later tonight, you can always write them down, leave them here.
Yeah, that will be nice.
Yeah.
Right.